Well, this is live from my office, live from my car with my good friends Mike Toomey and Tim Becker. Hello, boys.
How's it going, Steve?
Hello, Steve.
It's a busy time. I just pull over to the side of the road after I do another delivery. You know, fellas got to make some money. And
does it smell like French fries
talking
in your vehicle right now?
Yeah, but that's my cologne. Yeah. Have you guys seen the Portillo's billboards where they're advertising whatever meat fat they do their fries in?
No.
Yeah, I can't think of what it's called, but
beef tallow.
You know what it is, Tim?
Beef tallow.
What is it?
Yes.
Yeah, what is it?
It sounds too much like marrow for me, so it really
Right.
freaks me out. It's
I just love the fact that there was a meeting at an advertising agency and they go, "Have we got a sales point for you?"
Well, I applaud the honesty. You know what I mean? They try too hard to skirt that word, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, it's fat, okay? Get over it. This is why it's good, because it's fat and you like it.
Yeah.
And you're
anybody going to Portillo's to get healthy? I mean, come on.
Yeah, right. Embrace it.
So let's do a couple of plugs before we get on with things here. Mike Toomey, you're on the WGN Morning News, the #1 rated WGN Morning News. Prominently featured every day in the 9 o'clock hour, but you're on the news too. I mean, all the time. And also on WGN Plus on the weekend. So fill in the gaps on those plugs.
Well, WGN Plus can be found on smart TVs, like if you have a Roku or Apple TV or a Samsung smart TV, you can access WGN Plus, and Laugh Tracks is the name of my show, and it runs.
And it's very good, right, Tim?
It's awesome because I've been on it too.
It runs Saturday mornings at 10 and then again at 4 p.m. and then Monday nights at 8. So take that, football. Take that.
I mean, outside of Tim, who's been your favorite guest?
Boy, I can't even begin to know. We just recorded our 50th show today.
That's great.
50. But I will say, in recent memory, 2 Saturdays ago, I interviewed Rich Little, which was fantastic because he's one of my boyhood idols. You know, appointment TV, a guy who does impersonations, and that's one day what I hope to be. And he was cool. We talked for a very long time. Of course, edited the interview down, but he had stories. He did a couple for me. It was just bucket list.
How old is he?
87.
Still doing shows?
Yes. 3 nights a week. He does the Laugh Factory at the Horseshoe Casino Sundays, Mondays, and Tuesday nights. And, he shows pictures. He tells stories. He, does a few voices along the way. And he's happy. He's 3 nights a week. He got the rest of the week off. He's living life.
Wow.
That's great.
He's 87 and he's busier than I am.
Yeah.
Now, aside from being alive, what do you guys hope to be doing at 87?
I'm not sure I hope to be alive at 87.
Well, I want to kind of use Carl Reiner, one of my childhood idols. I'd like to do like him and just write books about ridiculous things until I'm done. So
I tell you a Carl Reiner story. Carl Reiner was on the radio with me many times. And one of my favorites was when he called in to plug one of the books he wrote. And he wrote a ton of books. And I said, "How are you?" He goes, "I just had the best split pea soup I've ever had in my life." And he then went off and did 30 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating, 30 minutes on soup and the joy of soup. And I tried to stop him to plug the book at one point. He goes, "Who cares about the book? Have you had, and he named like 3 other soups." He's the best.
He's awesome. Yes.
No, he was the best. All right. So, and Mike, on the WGN Morning News in at 9 o'clock hour, it's you and the kids, right?
Yes, it is. Every day, top of the 9, there's me. I'm a fixture on that hour. And then, like you said, other times during the week, I might show up in a sketch or a bit or something earlier or in a fill-in role. You know what I'm saying?
And now, you've done a lot of characters on that show.
Yes.
Is there a character that you haven't done in quite a while that you'd like to bring back?
I'm trying to think. I haven't done the Batman character in a while, but
what?
I will tease you both by saying we are working on a new one that I think is going to be pretty funny. I have this perfectly good bat suit and I haven't worn it in a while, so we got to dust that off. Yeah, we got to dust that off.
Make sure it fits. I think.
Can I get a little bit of Batman who has just gone to the doctor and he wants to know if whatever this is on his arm looks infected?
Pardon my visit, but there is a little bit of a growth between the elbow and the wrist, which bothers me slightly, though it does not impair my crime fighting. But nonetheless, I believe it should be examined at a close level.
So he would show his arm. It would say wrist. There would be a sign that said wrist on there. Right? Everything they had was labeled.
Access to growth down here.
You got to be thrilled. You got to be thrilled, Mike, if you spend any time on Instagram or TikTok, because Batman has gotten a third or fourth or fifth generation of new life. People are putting clips up nonstop.
It's unbelievable. You know what I mean? Are you talking about the new stuff, the newer movies, or the old stuff?
No, the show. The old show, the show from the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, and people have fun liberties that they take with, like, the dancing scenes and stuff like that. Yeah, it's fun to watch. It's like it's being hilarious. It's like it's born again. Yep.
Yeah.
That writer's room had to have the most weed ever in the history of Hollywood for some of the storylines.
Unbelievable. And, the thing about famous actors of the day kind of like fighting over roles, like they wanted so badly to be on that show. Otto Preminger, who was one of the three actors to play Mr. Freeze, who is, a very world famous director, said that his grandchildren didn't even recognize him as famous until he was on that show, and he went on that show to impress them.
Interesting. Who were the other two who played Mr. Freeze? Because I think Vincent Price did.
No, he was Egghead.
He was Egghead. All right, then who are the other two Freezes?
George Sanders and Eli Wallach.
Eli Wallach.
Yeah.
Well, as we go down this path, it brings up you and I and you, the three of us. I would call us the three older amigos. Yes. We've been friends for a long time, and we're doing a couple more shows that we've got booked, including on Thursday night, June 11th, at the beautiful Bolingbrook Golf Club, this castle-like edifice right off the highway in Bolingbrook. And we hope you can make it. It's pretty simple. You go on any of my social medias or cochranshow.com, or we'll put it in the show notes here. There's a slick-looking poster, and you could just scan the QR code. It'll take you right to the website to get tickets. And we want to see you there.
Just a stone's throw from old Chicago, if you're wondering where it is. Yeah.
Very good.
You can get there from there. Steve, you have no idea of that place, do you? No recollection. I mean, that was long gone when you got it.
Yeah, the geographic thing. No. It's funny. When I moved here 30 years ago, people would go, "Oh no, not Bolingbrook." And Bolingbrook now is just, it's nothing but success and growth.
Right.
And big companies and stuff.
WeatherTech is there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big company. Big letters on the sign on the building.
For sure.
Yeah, there's several things there. It's the home of the cup phone holder and other things.
Right.
And this show we're doing on June 11th, our good friends at Apt Electronics have given us another 75-inch big screen TV to give away. So somebody that night for underpaying for their tickets is going to walk out with a big screen TV. So that's pretty sweet.
Well, Steve, there's an investigation going on right now. People think we knocked over some type of semi a while ago because we have so many televisions that we've given away. But what's the real reason we give those away?
They fell off a truck. Yeah, they fell off a truck. Yeah.
You said
that's why I pulled over. That's why I pulled over in a parking lot right now, wearing sunglasses and a hat.
You said the bad word out loud. But who? The fine folks.
And the good people at Apt Electronics, Steve Shapiro and the Apt brothers, they're very good to us, and they've supplied us with another one. The last show, last fall that we did, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention, and I had to call them and go, "Hey, I give away 2 TVs. Is that okay?" And they went, yeah, no, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. So we're only going to give away one, but why not to you? Again, get your tickets, cochranshow.com, any of the social medias. They're on your social media too, aren't they, Tim Baker? Or the poster
I
is,
have
I
it
should
on
say.
Facebook and Insta, like the kids say.
And on mine as well. Me too, by the way. I'm working it. I'm working that social media really hard.
Nice.
Yeah.
I saw you on TikTok.
I know.
You were in the car sitting in traffic.
Starting to learn. Yeah. Not like Steve. I'm worried like when I do it, I sit like in the shoulder of like the Dan Ryan, where it's like I'm a little bit actually in traffic. I do that where like my tire is in the left lane a little bit.
Right.
Just to add adventure to it. Like what you're doing right now looks very tame and very boring.
Yeah, it's safe. It's safe. You can't be too safe. So I hope people can come out. It's stand-up comedy. It's a great night. It'll be a ton of fun. If you disappointed your mom for Mother's Day, it's a great thing to do. Have her come out and laugh at old men.
Yes.
Live on stage.
Or a great Father's Day gift in advance.
Yes.
That's a great point. Yeah. Early Father's Day gift as well.
I will say I disappointed my mom all of my life, all of hers. So
it brings I saw something online yesterday, which I thought would be perfect for this. And I don't know if you guys know much about the internet, but you can find a lot of crap. And this is the "Are You Really a Man?" test. And a bunch of things that kind of define whether or not you've become a man. And it starts out when you were a kid. And let me just go through a few of these. Either one of you guys jump in. What's something you learned from your own dad?
I'll go first. My dad said to me at a very young age, if you got a job, do the best you can. Even if you're digging ditches, make them the best ditches.
Mm-hmm.
So I dug ditches for about 7.5 years, and he kicked me out of the house.
Well, when you found out you weren't the best at it, you had to stop.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, no question.
I didn't learn anything that he specifically told me, but what I observed, and sometimes the best thing to say is nothing at all. You know what I mean?
Sure.
He knew when to speak up, when not to, and it was always right. It was pretty amazing.
Nice.
I've told my own kids and my grandkids, two of them anyway, because the little one at 2 really doesn't care much about this. But I got my work ethic from my dad, and then my son just laughs and goes, "Really?" Because he knows that I did 12,000 radio shows where I sat on my ass and talked. Yeah. He goes, "Really? Work ethic? Really? Work ethic?" Okay. It's harder than it looks.
Yeah, but if you didn't have a job, you went out and you found a job so that you could feed the kiddies and make the wife happy. So yeah, so that's part of it.
Part of this test is if you had adventure in your life prior to becoming a man. Did you ever run away from home?
About a week ago.
Where are you now?
The wife was talking about redoing the deck now after redoing the kitchen. So I left so you kind of re-switch her focus,
Yeah, that's a reality show waiting to happen.
I never did that. I always saw the kids on the TV shows that did it and made an episode out of it, and never really appealed. I know it wasn't going to happen. When Herman Munster did the old reverse psychology on Eddie and let him go, and then they got all pissed at him, I was like, it doesn't end well.
No, it doesn't end well. What about a tree fort? Do you ever build or spend time in a tree fort?
No.
Not one that I built, but yes, my friends have had them in the past.
I grew up out in the country, and we had tree forts all the time. And one of the tree forts we had, keep in mind, no internet, boys and girls. The tree forts we had one of our cousins had a dad who was a pervert, and he would bring dad's dirty magazines, and that became our sex education, because that was the first time we all saw a naked girl, and in those magazines, and they may still be in that tree fort. As a matter of fact, if you come to the show on June 11th, they'll be handing out maps, and you can go to the tree fort and see if they're still there.
It's funny that you say your friend's dad was a pervert because he had a stack of Playboys. I mean, by today's standards, that guy is like a pillar of the community, right?
Right.
When you think about it.
I only wish they were a Playboy. The The least offensive of them was a hustler. The rest of them were more gynecological manuals.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was one called Jugs, and Jugs was not about. Yeah, it wasn't about moonshine, but just really raunchy magazines, which made it awkward. This guy was my uncle, by the way. Made it really awkward when I saw my uncle. I never liked him that much, but I had no idea what a pig he was. I'm sure he's looking up right now, shaking his head at me.
Wait, what was the name of that one again? Just
Jugs. You just do a little research check. All right, how about this one? How old are you when you kissed a girl for the first time?
Excluding my mother?
Yes, excluding mom.
I was 13. We were playing Truth or Dare in my basement for my 13th birthday party, and I made out with Carla Hoover.
Oh, Carla!
Nice.
Carla was a good kisser. Same here, 13, but we were playing Spin the Bottle.
Okay.
Behind the curve, fellas. I'm going to go 16.
With your friend Bill?
Yeah, with Bill. Who later became my roommate, and to this day we're still friends, so it wasn't wrong.
Right.
Friends.
And none of us use Bill Cosby signature Quaaludes for any of that, right?
No.
Not me. No,
not when you're 13.
I didn't need those until I was in my 30s.
There you go. How old were you when you had your first drink?
My 13th birthday in our basement. No.
Well, actually, no wonder you got handsy.
I really was 13 at my brother's wedding. Somebody gave me, I think it was two-thirds orange juice, but they gave me what was a screwdriver, and I drank half of it, and it tasted horrible.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
I'm going 14 on that one.
As you guys know, as an adult, I don't drink. I'll have a sip of champagne on New Year's Eve, maybe. But I came from a family of professional drinkers, alcoholics. However, I was drunk once in my life. At the age of 7, my cousin had me to his house for a sleepover on New Year's Eve, and we got in the parents' champagne. And I remember the room spinning, and I woke up the next morning, and I stumbled outside and threw up in his yard and went home.
But my question here is, at age 7, how do you continue to drink it to the point of being intoxicated? Like, don't you take a sip and go, as a 7-year-old, this is horrible?
Well, but you know what? Champagne is kind of fruity. And I was too at that age. No, champagne's kind of fruity and not as offensive as some things. It wasn't whiskey. It wasn't Robitussin. So even though my grandmother, not a nice lady, my grandmother, her cure for a cold, no matter how old you were as a kid, and I'm talking about 3, 4 years old, up until 10, 11, 12, whatever it was, she'd give you a shot of whiskey.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she was sweet.
So you could give that to a 7-year-old, but you have to refer to it as rancid Sprite.
There you go. And by the way, that's a great name for a band.
It is. They're at Lollapalooza this year.
So wait,
rancid Sprite.
We got Uncle Pervert, anti-alcoholic.
Yep, and Grandma was a bad woman. Isn't it hard to believe I got into show business?
Grizzly Grandma.
There's a country song waiting to happen here.
All right, we talk about kids. Let me ask you a question about being a parent. Did you ever do a thing to your own kid that you hated when your dad did it to you? And I'm specifically referencing this. That's not how you hold the flashlight. Hold it where I'm working. Did you ever do anything like that to your kid?
Mike?
I don't think so. I'm trying to think of no, I don't think so. I don't think I ever did. You?
Okay. My dad was a very, very gentle man for the most part, but certain things would aggravate them. Like if you gave up. I remember trying to learn to ride a two-wheeler, and he was very, very, very frustrated by my not being able to learn quickly.
So being afraid of falling?
Being afraid of falling and say, come on, kind of the rare time where he would raise your voice and come on, you're 6. Be a man. Wait, no, I'm 6. How can I? And I
I'll
did
give you
that.
something to cry about.
Right. That's the same genre. So I think I did that to Jordan a little bit when he was learning to ride a bicycle, or learning to throw the baseball, or learning to hit the baseball, or talking to strangers. No, I would always I kind of I I liked that. I was like, come on. I always thought the tough love would work, and it didn't really.
Now it's a different world, and I think as Tim has pointed out, my childhood was sketchy enough that I didn't want to put any of that on my kids.
Right.
So, all right, let me test the man side of whether or not we're men. Do you guys know how to cook?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, okay. What's your specialties?
Go ahead.
Oh, I'll go. Well, when it's cold out, I make Italian food like crazy.
Mhm.
Braciole, rolled flank steak with seasoning in there, and it's cooked in the red sauce. Yeah. When it's nice outside, one of my specialties is pulled pork. So it's you just use the Weber, and you got your little smoker box. You run that for a few hours. You let it sit on that
Wow.
grill for about 14 hours. You wrap it, you spray it, you mark it with B. Yeah, and then you have pulled pork. So that's kind
And,
of
and
like
I want to congratulate the three of us that you said pulled pork twice, and none of us made a cheap joke.
I thought of one. I thought of it.
What about you, Mike? What do you cook?
Well, my cooking is not nearly, I mean, you're talking about real, actual good stuff. I got a slow cooker as a gift one year for Christmas or something. And I just like fell in love with the book that came with it and then started buying other books. And from then I got, I just started inventing my own stuff. And, to me,
Really?
it's that, yeah, that part is fun, like taking recipes and allowing them to evolve my way. Every time I make it, it's less of what's in the book and more of what I like. And I'm not like a chef by any stretch. I kind of like it. I like playing around. Slow
mhm.
Well, that's cool.
cooker, Foreman grill,
I,
Ninja
I can't
cooker.
cook. I can't cook anything without my phone and a credit card.
That's all right.
Um, and that's it's not a cheap way to live. All right, let me move over to this category, being handy. My dad was MacGyver. My dad could fix anything, with a pay. Like he could, like somebody would call up and go, "I think I have a short in the wall." He'd go rewire their house with a paper clip and Scotch tape.
Sure.
Um, I learned nothing because, like that flashlight anecdote, he would go, "Give me a box end 7/8 gangling wrench," and I was 5, and I bring back the wrong thing. He'd go, "You're an idiot. Just go get me a beer."
Hmm.
But my cousin and I still talk about this. My cousin Kurt, who's very handy, and I only found out after we were both adults that he learned everything from my father that my father never taught me. Yeah, and I told him, Kurt, you're the son my dad always wished he had.
That
Could it also
stings.
be? Could it also be that Kurt was perhaps a bit more inclined from the start?
Yeah, maybe, yeah, maybe. But again, I was 5. Um, I mean, once he was mean to me, I was sensitive. I'm like, now you guys know this. We'll do a show, and if I don't feel it goes perfectly well, you guys know I cry in the green room for a while.
Yes.
Right.
Um, but yeah, so Kurt, if you need anything, my cousin Kurt's really handy. But here's a simple one, and I don't know how to do this either. I don't know how to properly paint a room.
Oh,
Me
really?
neither. I don't.
Uh,
You say that with some sort of
No, no.
pathetic sympathy in your voice.
The longer we talk, the more I realize how little I'm capable of.
all
I'm feeling pretty good.
What
right.
about
I
fixing
only
a car? Could you guys fix a car?
up till 1983, I think I could. They got
But you could
complicated.
tinker, you could do that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I could change oil. I could do brakes.
Really?
Um, change an air filter. Change a cabin air filter.
Hmm.
And painting, we've been in our house 28 years. I think I've gone around 5 different times and painted every single room.
Well, I know you are handy, Tim Banker. You've actually come to my house and helped me with a few things. And by help me, I meant you did it. I watched.
That's helpful. That's very helpful.
Yeah. But
And did you guys pass it on to your sons at all?
My sons, 2 of my 3 sons learned to be pretty handy in the house, but not doing any part to me. out of necessity or learned from my wife, who's way better than me at, household, things like that.
Well, that's what I was going to bring up because my wife as well. My wife is a see something, do something. She's not good at putting stuff off, whereas listen, I could put stuff. If I haven't put off 7 or 8 things by the end of the day, I haven't feel like I haven't done anything all day. And she sees something and it has to be done, and she has taught herself how to fix a lot of things. So she jumps right in. I'll tell you what, for being the man of the house, she's pretty hot.
Yeah, we are definitely a match there. I'll tell you. Same story here.
Oh, well, really?
I got good because of the wifely pressure. She doesn't know how to do anything, so I have to. So I'm kind of I guess it would be the same with the cooking. She doesn't want to cook, so I want to eat, so I cook.
So it's a matter of survival.
Absolutely.
Now, here's a couple of things I have done. Have you ever caught a fish or have you ever gone hunting?
No.
Is that right?
That's absolutely right.
So, Mike, I'll have to take you fishing then, because I want you to grab the fish after we pull it out of the water and take the hook out of its mouth.
Yeah.
I want you to
It's awkward.
I want you to be able to do
one. I will amend this slightly. I caught one with a ping pong ball. Like I threw it in the bowl and got it in there. It got in, and therefore I took possession of said goldfish.
Oh,
I remember you got in trouble, Mike, at Shed Aquarium in Chicago when you went fishing there. That's generally not advisable. But no, I've caught a fish.
Ping pong balls. I used a rock. I'm sorry.
I went fishing on the St. Lawrence in, right on the Canadian-New York state border.
Sure.
And my mother caught a catfish that was taller than she was at 5 feet tall. So yeah, what about hunting? Yeah, my dad, growing up in the country with rednecks, my dad and his buddies were deer hunters.
Oh, wow.
And I went out in the woods and shot a gun, but I shot it at a tree because I never had the heart to shoot a deer.
I couldn't do that either.
Me neither. I mean, hats off to the guys who do it to survive or whatever, or have done that in the past. But man, I couldn't pull the trigger.
I went hunting in bars a lot in the 80s.
Yeah, no, it's different. That's
What'd you catch? What did you catch?
A lot of different varieties.
Yeah. A couple of things he had to go to the doctor for.
He caught that.
Yeah. At one point, I think the last time I went hunting is the time my dad said, "What are you doing? Put the orange away. Wear something brown and green and walk in front of me."
Nice. That's good strategy.
Yeah. Have you ever hiked up a mountain?
Yes. We went to Mount Rainier in
really
20 something. I don't know, 2003 or something. We went to Mount Rainier. I guess you drive up to a certain level. It was like 4,000 feet, and we walked to around 7,000 feet. When I got woozy, it was time to turn around and go home. We went as far as you could go without having actual gear and stuff like that. We just had shoes on.
What about you, Mike? You a hiker?
You ready for my answer? No.
Listen, I'm with you. I'm with you. I pull into, you pull into a park and, you look at a mountain or even a good sized hill and you think to yourself, why, the car's right here.
Yeah.
Why are we going up there? We're going to come back to the car. Why do we have to go up there? We're coming right back here.
Yeah, missing where the fun is.
All right, let's move on with this. Are you a man test to work? And by the way, I probably own this category. Have you ever told off your boss?
No.
I did years ago. He was a weasel. I won't say what job it was, but he was a weasel. And you could do a million things right, and he would make up the million and first thing and complain to you about it. So I went nuts on him.
And you own your own company now. You own Northwest Carpet Cleaning. Wherever you are in America or the world, hire Northwest Carpet Cleaning. They'll get that stain out. Actually, your slogan for the company, I think, is, "Ugh, what's that?" Isn't that the slogan?
That's well, thank you for plugging that. Yeah, I own my own company, which means I work for the biggest jerk on the planet. So
I was going to say, have any of your employees ever told you off?
One started to. He got about a half a sentence into it, and I said, "Give me your key. You're done." And
Wow.
he handed me the key, and I said, "Leave the premises." He walked across the street and was screaming at me from across the street, and I said, "I still hear your mouth over here. You got to go further."
Wow.
You know
I
what
can say a
though?
couple.
Just before you move on, he has had that business so long that the original name was Out Damned Spot.
Wow, that is a long time.
Yeah, that's a long
really
time.
long time.
Family.
Right.
Anybody that's followed my career or listened to me on the radio or watched me on TV and whatever over the years probably knows that I get fired a lot, and I've been fired 11 times. And there's a few stories that stand out, but there was one boss who challenged me, was very upset with me, and frankly, he should have been for something I had said on the air. And I stood up to leave the room because he was saying stuff that was going to escalate. And the general manager was sitting across the desk to kind of referee. And he stood up because he thought I was going to hit the program director. And when he stood up, he tripped and he fell forward. And when he fell forward, he hit his teeth on a door handle and fell to the floor. So as I opened the door to try to check to see if it was okay, people were standing in the hallway, and all they could see is me standing over the general manager and blood pouring out of his mouth.
Well,
and by the way, that's one time where I wasn't fired. It was 2 or 3 months later for something else entirely.
You're so lucky there was a witness there, because that the circumstantial evidence would have been overwhelming against you.
It's tough to fire people now.
It is.
It's tough. You have to paper the file. You have to keep track of everything they do. You have to know a secret handshake. I miss the old days when people could just throw you out of the building. And I'll tell you something, and I'm proud of this. You fire me, I'm leaving the building.
Yeah.
I will leave. Yeah, I'll leave. Now, I might say a few things on the way out. I'm going to make sure the severance is there. But I think once you're fired, you should leave.
Yeah.
I agree.
I miss the days of Mr. Slate. You know what I mean? But that was the Stone Age.
Right.
That was so
Very
long
good point.
ago. Yeah.
Or Mr. Dithers. Remember Mr. Dithers? Everything was
Blondie?
Get this done or you're fired,
All right, here's a couple of family questions. Have you ever picked up a check at a restaurant in front of your dad, your grandfather, or both when they were at the table?
Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No argument from them.
Same here. No, same here. It was KFC. It wasn't that much. We didn't go out a lot as a family.
My dad liked getting spoiled a little bit later on. He was always very grateful for it. Yeah, he would like, all right, fine.
Same here.
That's great. No, that's great. Have you ever told a family member to fuck off?
No.
It'd be easier to figure out which one I didn't tell. No, we have, without overusing that word, we have the FU factor in our family. You could have a knockout, drag off. Anyway, you have a bad fight with somebody. But
knock down, drag out, I think is where you're going.
Right. The FU factor is
drag off was a Russian wrestler in the 72 Olympics.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
Anyway, bottom line was FU factor is 5 minutes later, you just forget about it. It's done. So we have that with all of them. 7 of us over 62 years old, and we all get along. I don't know how that happens.
Yeah, and I'm at a point now where if I wanted to tell you to fuck off, you probably couldn't hear it. And if you wanted to take a swing at me, you'd have to get out of your recliner.
Right. Yeah, we were never an aggressive family, so it never came to that.
How about this one? I like this question. Who are you more afraid of disappointing, your wife or your mom? And if your mom's no longer alive, when she was alive. And it could be who you're more afraid of, your wife or your mother.
Mike?
Two entirely different approaches. I mean, two completely different opposite people. Boy, that's a toss-up. I'd have to go at this point with my wife.
Okay. I would say the mother because with the wife, I guess after being together for so many years, I'm like, you're fine. You're not disappointed with me. You're fine. I,
Right.
I could convince her that it's not all that bad. With mom, it was a little harder to do that.
Yeah, I think it's my wife because I've disappointed her so many times through the years. I just feel like
Right.
I'm over the quota. Um, I will say this, and people, women, I don't know that women believe this. There's not a man on the planet that's not afraid of their wife and mother at one point or another, including every U.S. president. If you remember the movie Lincoln, there's that scene at the end where Daniel Day-Lewis is in a meeting and he's talking, and his valet comes over and says, Mrs. Lincoln wonders when you are ready to go because you have to go to the play. Of course, the play where he's killed. And he goes, oh, gee, yes, 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 I'll leave. I wish I didn't have to go, but I'll go. And he runs out the front door. Barack Obama talked about how he's afraid of Michelle.
Right.
George W. Bush talked about how he was not only afraid of his wife, but Barbara as well. And afraid is respect. It's not a bad thing necessarily, but there's not a man on the planet that doesn't fear a woman's wrath.
Right.
Well, do you remember when Lincoln and his friend were screwing around with the hose and his friend got him all wet and he's like, I'm not supposed to get wet. And he was really mad that he was scared of his mom, what his mom was going to say.
And Steve, that Daniel Day-Lewis movie, you left out the important line.
What line was that?
He was upset. The wife was like, hurry up because we have to go to the theater. And Lincoln said to the handler, I need to go to the theater like I need a hole in the head.
Right.
He did.
You guys know
that.
the story? I'm a nerd for the presidential history stuff. Do you guys know that Lincoln only had one Secret Service agent, and he actually invented the Secret Service. He started it.
Oh,
he only had one agent, and he was a chronic alcoholic, and everybody knew it.
Is that Parker?
Lincoln was sitting, I can't think of the guy's name. While he was sitting at the play, the guy was across the street getting drunk.
Yeah.
Missed it by that much.
Yeah.
Let's go to our final category, and that's Are We Tough Enough? Are we tough enough? Do you know how to camp and start a fire, and have you done either?
Man, I am Dr. No today. All these things, I'm like, no.
We camp at the Hyatt and the Wyndham and the Hilton.
So I'm the same way. If I'm roughing it, I'll go to a Holiday Inn Express.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, but I've definitely camped. I've camped outside in a tent. I've camped in a pop-up tent thing.
Really?
Camper. Not a fan at all. I woke up to the sound of beer cans opening and the smell of a fire. And I looked outside the door. My father and his friends were drinking beer at 7 a.m. and cooking eel for breakfast.
Nice.
What's wrong with them? You're supposed to eat the eel raw.
It's obviously it doesn't bother me years later. And the starting a fire thing is more of a Boy Scout thing. And I was not a Boy Scout.
No, me neither.
But I wasn't a Boy Scout, but we have the fire pit outside. And I love starting those fires on a little chilly spring night. You go outside, you put the fire on, you sit around. Me and the dog smoke a cigar.
What about an insurance fire? We are setting a fire for insurance money.
No, sir. At least
not a little different.
That's a little different. You're exactly right. Have you ever broken a bone?
Nope.
Cracked, not broken.
What'd you crack?
A rib and a tailbone, which can't be fixed. It just takes time. The tailbone one took months before it didn't hurt to sneeze. You know what I mean? It was just forever.
Where do your sneezes come out?
It hurt like I would sneeze and I would feel it in my tailbone. And I'm like, is this going to have to be forever? But then after a couple of months, it stopped doing it. I cracked a rib.
What's the story you tell people about how it happened?
Well, the tailbone one, I collided with a catcher and we both went down and I landed really hard on my backside.
Again, was it your friend Tom?
It was, no, that was also Bill.
Oh, Bill.
Tom stayed out of it.
Okay.
But yeah,
I've broken my ankle 3 times. Playing basketball, running. That's right. I used to run. It's been a long time since I've ran, so I've told people this before. If I had to run now, including if somebody was chasing me, I'd have to look at a YouTube video first to remember how to do it.
or
It's
watch the Santa Claus is coming to town. Put one foot in
sure.
front of the other. That's how you run, Steve.
I've also broken my nose. And when I say I've broken my nose, it was Tim Goodnow, fourth grade baseball.
I hate that guy.
We were playing baseball in fourth grade. He'd never gotten a hit. He popped one up to short and he threw the bat. And I was in the on-deck circle, and I looked up just in time for the bat to hit me on the face.
No.
Ooh, yipes.
And sadly, I looked just like Brad Pitt before that.
Before the accident? Before the bat thing?
Yeah, before the accident. Yeah, before the accident.
Hey, by the way, I mentioned 7 kids in our family. None of us ever broke a bone.
Man.
As kids. That's crazy.
I have no idea how that happened, but none of us.
Those are lottery ticket odds.
I'm telling you, It really is.
Have you ever been a victim of a crime? Ever mugged? That kind of thing.
Oh, I was going to mention my first marriage, but no, I don't think I've ever gotten, knock on wood, all over the place, robbed, held up, mugged.
No.
All right, here's another story for you. Football practice, high school. My parents are out because it was Friday, and of course they were out. And I had a touch of the flu or something. So you got to remember this would have been 1978, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So hot summer, no air conditioning. I'm home from football practice. I don't feel well. And I'm home alone. And I'm laying on the couch wearing nothing but my white BVDs. I hear a noise in the basement. And I grab a baseball bat. And I walk outside into the basement. We lived in the country. I'm going to find out who's in the basement. Our basement, if you take every horror movie you've ever seen, and the basement that you never should go into, that was our basement. That's how it was lit. That's what it was like. The window on the outside would get a little outside light. So if it was a moonlit night, there was a little bit of light that would come through the window, but crazy shadows and stuff. So I go downstairs. I'm in enough of a fever state where I'm going to take on whoever's down there. And I'm sure I'm saying things on the way down like, "Hey, you, identify yourselves,
mister.
I'm gonna kill you, mister." I get to the bottom of the steps. I'm in the hitting position, and I walk in and I see a shadow move quickly to my right, and I take a swing, and the Louisville Slugger bounces off the support post for the basement, hits me in the head, and knocks me out. Unconscious, maybe 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever. But I woke up to see a cat. That was the shadow. That was what made the noise. A cat had gotten into the basement.
Well, good thing you didn't hit the cat.
Next day, I wake up with 2 black eyes, and my father said, "Get me a beer."
And they found that the cat took all the silverware. I don't know how that happened.
Because it was a cat burglar.
Have you ever had your car break down on a lonely road at night, which really scared you because you were alone?
No, I've been in accidents where my car was disabled, but usually the police would come if it was an accident.
If that did happen, would you be good in that situation?
We'd have to. I mean, what could you do? Like when I think about all those days in the 80s and 90s with no cell phones, if that would have happened, what choice would we have had? I don't know the difference between good and bad. Yeah, just
you walk it out.
Hope somebody comes by to help. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, for kids that don't understand, I remember a car broke down in the 80s, and I had to fax for help.
Is that right?
Yeah,
you plug the fax into the cigarette lighter?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, then you screw it up. You put the paper in upside down, right? And then and you just write help on a piece of paper. You put it in. You don't know if they're coming. Yeah,
When Lincoln and his friend were goofing around and their car broke down, he had to telegraph for help. Help! Stop! Help me fix my car! Stop!
God, Lincoln was busy.
He and his buddy got in a lot of trouble.
And the last question to see if we're tough enough: you ever had a brush with death?
Not that I'm aware of.
My first marriage again.
Okay.
No.
I nearly drowned during a stupid radio stunt where I was getting beat in a raft race on a pond at WENY Elmira, the Big 1230, WENY, the weenie. So the afternoon guy was beating me in the raft race. I reached out to the boat that was accompanying us, just a little outboard fishing boat, and I grabbed the tow rope thinking this would be great. He'll tow me, I'll be faster, it'll be a big laugh. Well, there's physics involved. I was pulled out of my raft and went underwater immediately, in probably 15 feet of water, maybe a little more. And I was able to open my eyes and see the Johnson outboard motor about to hit me in the face.
Oh.
So I let go of the rope and the boat kept going. And then I realized I'm not that good a swimmer. And I was able to kick to the surface. And then everybody at the beach are going, look at him, he's funny. Look, he's pretending he's drowning. Well, it's close to the truth. Yeah. So that was one of those times. And I appreciate the fact that neither of you were there to help me.
Well, I'm sorry about that. But Steve, there's some therapy is definitely between the uncles and the drinking aunts and the brush with death and the getting the fire. What happened, Steve? Tell us.
You're starting to understand some of the darkness. All the years you've known me, you had no idea. Look, the fun you've heard here or seen here, if you're watching on YouTube and more, on June 11th at the Bolingbrook Golf Club. And we'd love to see you there. Somebody's going to win an app, big screen, 75-inch TV. And come out. The tickets are so underpriced, it's ridiculous. And you get them by going to CochranShow.com, any of our social medias. And we're going to have some other places we're going to be putting up reminders soon. But get them and see us on June 11th. Mike Toomey, one of the best stand-ups in the country. Tim, you know that.
I do.
Tim Becker is always hilarious. Me, people tend to find me funny. So it's going to be a good night. We certainly hope you can make it. 7:00, you'll be home by 10. It's a good time.
Love it.
And Mike, again, WGN Plus every Saturday?
Every Saturday, 10 a.m. and repeats Saturday, 4 p.m. and Monday, 8 p.m.
And the WGN Morning News
after 9? Monday through Friday, 9 to 10.
And the Tim Becker comedy series at the Copley Theater in Aurora. Tell me more about that.
Several Saturdays, late summer into the fall. I host the comedy series. We've got some great acts in there. Larry Reeves coming in, Tim Kavanaugh. I'll be headlining. We can talk about this later on, but it's in November. I'll be headlining one of the comedy series at the Copley. So buy your tickets after you see this show first.
Right after June 11th. That's exactly right.
Right.
And read me on Substack as well as continue to support live from my office. Share it, spread it like hantavirus. Yeah. And tell your friends. And we'll see you on June 11th. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening wherever you get your podcast. Thank you, Mike Toomey. Thank you, Tim Becker.
Thank you, Steve Cochran. Stay safe.
Brought to you by Woody Buick and Apt Electronics. This is Live from My Office.
Thank you for listening to Live from My Office, a service of Monkey Run Productions. All rights reserved. The podcast is hosted by Steve Cochran, and it's mixed, edited, and produced by me, Ross Cochran. Support the show by subscribing wherever you're listening and by telling your friends about it. Follow Steve on all social media channels, including Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And make sure you check out this episode's show notes for relevant information discussed during the conversations. You can also email the show directly at thecochranshow@gmail.com with any questions or comments. And that's the best place to tell us about your favorite nonprofit so we can make sure we mention them on the next episode. Steve is available for corporate speaking gigs. He would love to MC your event. And occasionally, he's funny. Thank you for listening. Head to cochranshow.com for more.